Welcome to Hendersonville High School. The class of 2020, we're very proud of you. We know it's a little bit different year this year. We're sorry that things have gone the way they have, but this is your graduation, and we're going to make the best of it. It's going to be a great night for you guys, so sit back and enjoy. Seniors, before we get going too far into this, I think that I need to say a couple of things. This is definitely a unique situation that we're in tonight. You're obviously going to be the first class to ever graduate from Hendersonville High School without an actual sit-down, look at each other ceremony. In one way, I'm very sorry, but in another way, I think it's great. You guys are special. You've always been special. I think that, you know, for most of us, we look at this school as being a great place to be. We sit back and relax and take it easy. We don't necessarily think of all the great things that go on at Hendersonville High School. Where this year we're having to, because we're trying to have those memories that are always key to all of us. You guys have those special memories. You can take yourself back to the Bearcat Bridge. What happened when you came to the Bearcat Bridge? And since the Bearcat Bridge, which was before you even started high school, what kind of memories are you taking with you from HHS? They're great. They're great memories. Up until the last day you were here, we had memories that will go on forever in your minds and in your lives. Make this something that you're going to smile about. There's a smile on your face. You're graduating from Hendersonville High School tonight. That's worth a big smile. You guys have changed Hendersonville High School for the better. And that's how you're going to be remembered, is that you have improved the school and made it better. We're going to miss you. We're probably going to miss you as much or more than most groups because of what you've had to go through. But I hope you know what a privilege it has been for us to have you here. You guys are special, and we love you, and we'll think of you for a long, long time. Your 4 years at HHS is over, but you are going to always be a Bearcat. And that's what's important, that you know that you're a Bearcat, and you'll always be a Bearcat. I'll see you guys around, and be safe. We're very privileged tonight to have 3 speakers from the class of 2020. We have our valedictorian, Catherine Thomas, our salutatorian, Andrea Rasco, and the speaker that the seniors chose, Ray Suber. Those 3 will now take a few minutes and give you something that they have as great memories from Hendersonville High School.
Good evening, class of 2020. It is a great honor to speak to you today. While a virtual recording is not how I imagined giving this speech, I would like to extend a huge thank you to all of the teachers and administration here at Hendersonville High School and Henderson County Public Schools for their efforts to ensure we can maintain traditions during this time. The foundation of Hendersonville High School lies within its traditions, yet the class of 2020 has been tasked with reframing the expectation. Similar to the status of many of our buildings here on our beloved campus, our senior year has crumbled to the ground. Now, as the class of 2020, we have the opportunity to pick up the pieces and forge our own path. I would like to start by honoring all those who helped us reach this milestone. To our parents and guardians, thank you for supporting us since day one. Thank you for guiding us through the highs and lows of life, for we would not be here today without your unending dedication and love. To our teachers, thank you for always going the extra mile to ensure we succeeded in and out of the classroom. Thank you for coming in at 7 a.m. so we can make up a quiz. Thank you for staying late to help us work through problems we're having, whether academic or personal. Thank you for showing up to sports games and matches, concerts, and performances. Thank you for investing in us beyond the four walls of your classroom. Many teachers purely focus on the grades their students earn, but I have not found that to be the case here at Hendersonville High School. I have fond memories of Ms. Phyllis giving us pep talks about how grades and scores do not define us, but rather we are defined by how we treat those around us. To Mr. Wilkins and the rest of the administration, thank you for always guiding us in the right direction and providing us with the resources that we require to take the next leap in our lives. The day was August 29th, 2016, and we walked in these halls for the first time as high schoolers. We entered with anticipation and excitement for what the next 4 years would hold. Naive of the highs and lows our time here would encapsulate. We stood in the back at football games and lived the freshman experience. This was also the year many of us had the infamous Walt Cottingham for world history. And while I may not be able to recall details about the Persian War, I can tell you that if you ask high school freshmen to create weapons with objects found in the classroom, they will, by nature, begin to go after one another with old textbooks and flags. When trying to remember a specific moment from sophomore year, the first moments that came to mind were the moral dilemmas in Miss Evelyn's class and the marshmallow creatures we created in biology. Why were we creating World War I, having discussions about moral dilemmas, and creating our children out of marshmallows such special moments for us? They were not a big event that we had anticipated for months. They were mundane, and they were ordinary. And with that being said, our senior year has been nothing but ordinary. Senior projects were canceled, the band room and cafeteria crumbled before our eyes during the fourth period midterm exam. The route to the gym changed almost weekly, and now we are finishing our classes online. Taking a step back to June 14th, 2019, our first moment as the senior class. We are sitting at the class of 2019's move-up ceremony, and they said to us, "You're going to wish these days hadn't gone by so fast. These are some good times, so take a good look around. You may not know it now, but you're going to miss this." Our days here went by a little faster than we all expected, and for many of us, it's difficult to comprehend in the moment, but these truly were the good times. Monday, August 26th, the first day of our senior year. We walked into the auditorium and sat in the senior section for the first time this year. We listened to Mr. Wilkins tell us to do the right thing, we watched our teachers march us into senior year to the beat, and we celebrated our last first day together. Sunday, September 29th, we had our senior picnic, all gathered together, tossing eggs, playing duck goose, and getting sunburned. Then we had football games and theme nights. We won some, we lost some, but I believe we all had a great time cheering on our Bearcats. Homecoming week came and left. We celebrated with various costumes and events. Powder Puff got rained out, foreshadowing the conclusion of our senior year. On Friday, we dropped the banner, the old school Hendo you know. And then life went on. We visited colleges, wrote hundreds of application essays, and anxiously awaited the day we opened the portal that decided our future. We went to classes, meetings, rehearsals, and practices, never thinking that any one of them could be our last. Now it is November and our last symposium. We all gathered in the auditorium listening to Mr. Smith discuss human rights and attempt to incorporate cool slang into his lecture. The same month, the orchestra traveled to Winston-Salem and the women's tennis team won state. On December 4th, we had the medieval banquet. We all came to school dressed as jokers, nobles, and peasants. We hung our shields, we fought off in the arm wrestling competition, and we cheered on the pig. This was one of the last times our entire class was gathered in the same room celebrating our senior year and our traditions. And then life carried on as always. We had our holiday traditions like movie night, the Christmas parade, and holiday concerts. We returned from winter break rejuvenated and ready to take on our last semester of high school. Senior play pre-auditions happened, and we all sort of learned how to sing and dance. Then we went through the audition process and began rehearsals, excited to bring all shook up to life. We were late to 7:15 Q&A meetings and panicked over the Arsenal quizzes. We laughed in Mr. Drake's class and built cardboard pyramids in Miss Bradley's. At this point, life was great. We could see the end in sight, and we were excited about all the celebrations coming months would hold. But before that, the band had clinic weekend. We traveled to Brevard to perform, and on Sunday, March 1st, we played for the last time together as an ensemble. We put on our black dresses and tuxes for the last time without even knowing it. The next week, the novel coronavirus began to cancel our trips and our plans. We were disappointed but never anticipated how severely this virus would derail our senior year. Slowly, we watched as out-of-state trips were canceled, athletic seasons were suspended, and other states closed their schools. Friday, March 13th. We should have known, solely based on the fact that this was a Friday the 13th, that we would be getting some bad news. There was a different feeling in the air this day, yet we all laughed and speculated about when will we get out because of coronavirus. We knew it was going to happen, but the general consensus seemed to believe we're going to be here at least another week. When we were living through this day, it was just March 13th. It was an ordinary, mundane Friday. One more Friday closer to graduation, many of us thought. But now this day has taken on an entirely new meaning. It was the last time we sat in a high school classroom, the last time we saw many of our classmates, and the last time that we saw our teachers. But nobody treated the day any different, for we were unaware of our impending fate at the time. The next day, March 14th, Governor Cooper declared all North Carolina schools would be closed for 2 weeks. Many of us remained optimistic for a return, only to be awarded more bad news on March 23rd. This day, Governor Cooper signed an executive order closing all North Carolina schools until May 15th. This was heartbreaking. We watched many events we have been working towards and anticipating for 13 years slip away from us. On April 24th, the governor made the announcement that all schools were closed for the remainder of the academic year. After he made this announcement, my heart and my stomach sunk. It was over, and we never had the chance to say goodbye. For high school seniors, prom and graduation are defining moments in one's life. Move up, senior play, college t-shirt day, and awards banquets are Hendersonville traditions that we have looked forward to for the past 4 years. These are big moments that we're supposed to cherish for a lifetime. But just because our senior year moments will look drastically different from that of our siblings or older or younger friends does not mean we shouldn't cherish these memories. They are different, and like us, they will be unique. We are a unique group. Most of us were born in the recent wake of the 9/11 terrorist attack. We grew up hearing the stories of Columbine, Sandy Hook, Parkland, and many other school shootings. And now we are graduating into a global pandemic. Our lives and the way we view the world have been shaped by all of these events. If I have learned one thing from the past few months, it would be to not take the ordinary, mundane moments for granted, but to cherish them. Because at the end of the day, it is the small moments that we remember and appreciate. As Andy Bernard once said, I wish there was a way to know you were in the good old days before you actually left them. When we reflect on our senior year, we may not have the memories of laughing during senior play, crying at move up, or throwing our caps at graduation. We have been challenged to hold on to the seemingly mundane moments, as they are what make up our senior year experience. We first walked these halls as naive freshmen, and now we are leaving as adults. We have earned an education that will build the foundation for our futures. Some of us are going on to college, others to the military and the workforce. Over the next several years, we will all discover our own path and write our own stories. Each of our own stories will be filled with both triumph and failure, but we will meet these challenges head on. Our last few months here have not been easy, but we have proved that we are a resilient and determined class. These are traits that will benefit us and serve us well for the rest of our lives. Even if we are not spending the end of it together, this is our senior year. We have grown up together, we have learned from one another, we have been a shoulder to cry on in each other's hardest moments. We are graduating together. So as we close the door on our 4 years here at HHS, reflect and appreciate on the mundane, ordinary moments you might have otherwise overlooked. As David Byrne once said, life tends to be an accumulation of a lot of mundane decisions. The most amazing and influential moments in life are the ones you least expect. Congratulations to the class of 2020. I can't wait to see what everyone's futures hold.
To the class of 2020, congratulations. We have made it to our high school graduation. I know for myself, and I'm sure for many of you, that we thought this time would never come. And despite the not so great circumstances that we are facing, our drive for success and perseverance have allowed us to still make it. As a freshman, I remember walking by the senior circle, seeing pictures of things like the senior picnic, medieval banquet, and senior play, and sitting by the intimidating senior section at assemblies, thinking how far away I was from all of that. At orientation, before I was even technically a freshman, I couldn't believe it when people told me that the 4 years I had spent at Hendersonville High School would be so enriching and pass by so quickly. But I've come to realize that it's simply the truth. The time we have spent at HHS has been truly memorable, and I'm sure we will all take away moments that we will each treasure and look back on for the rest of our lives. For all the endless nights of homework, overwhelming study sessions, and other unfortunate sources of stress from school we've endured, we've strengthened and made new friendships, shared laughs, and shared an infinite number of lessons from each other. I know without a doubt that the kindness that has been shown and the support I have been given from everyone that has been a part of my own high school experience, my family, friends, peers, the teachers and staff at the school, and the Hendersonville community will never be forgotten and continue to inspire me. And even though our graduation signifies an end of a period of our lives that we have been so familiar with for so many years, it is just the beginning. It is the gate that we enter to go on to the next chapter of our lives. Whether it's going off to the workforce, the army, or college, we go on to meet new challenges and people and create new memories that will continue to shape us. And if there's just one, although cliche lesson from high school that I hope we can all take with us into our futures, it is to make the most of every second that we have. At least for me, it was a struggle to get up to be at school at 8 a.m., only to sit through what seemed to be eternal 50-minute class periods and leave school with mountains of homework and extracurricular obligations. And I can't say I didn't count down the time until weekends finally came. But I look back now that these things are gone and see things differently. I see the opportunities I had to be with my friends during homeroom, to learn concepts that may someday become useful, and to make new, meaningful connections within the community. And although I can't say I'll miss the homework, it did teach me the importance of responsibility and having a strong work ethic. While I'm sad to see this part of our lives come to an end, I am happy to celebrate our accomplishments and excited to see and make the most of what is to come. I know for each of us, while we may be faced with the unknown, there is something great waiting.
I don't know why, but no matter how many times I get up in front of a large group of people, my hands get shaky, my knees get weak, I just get all shook up. Speaking of, do y'all remember the senior play? Because me neither. Before I get started, I would like to thank the administration and the teachers for giving me this time to speech. It's a huge honor, so thank you. I'd also like to take this time to thank my parents. Your encouragement and unwavering support is the reason I'm standing here now. I know I don't say it nearly enough, but Mom, Dad, I love you. Let me begin by introducing myself for those who might not know me. Hi, my name is Ray Hoover, and depending on who you are, I either went to school with you or with your child. Us being able to watch this on a special day is an accomplishment in itself, but I feel like we ought to give ourselves a round of applause for making it this far. We can proudly tell our grandchildren that we finished the last few months of our senior year doing schoolwork in our beds in the wake of the global pandemic. The class of 2020. If it was going to happen to any specific graduating class, of course, it would be ours. It's only 4 years ago that we were thrust into this matrix that we call high school, thrust into the heat of the 2016 presidential election and the Zika virus. Foreshadowing? I think yes. I feel like it was put best by Charles Dickens. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. But here we are, finished with high school, and let me just tell you, it is not like any coming-of-age movies I've ever watched. Now, I don't mean to sound dramatic, but Hendersonville High School literally changed my life. I first stepped foot into this historic auditorium for Bearcat Bridge. 2 other kids and I came from Rugby, so I was a new kid and I didn't know many people. There are 2 things I will not forget from that day. One being the current year's leadership class in the alma mater and not stopping until every soul in the auditorium was due. The second being how Mr. Wilkins' voice did not need a microphone to quiet us down, and how he kept on rambling on about the tradition. Like every other soon-to-be freshman, I brushed off his talk about the tradition of Hendersonville and prepared myself for the new chapter in life. I hate to admit this, but it wasn't until nearly 2 years later, when I was standing with the rest of the leadership class, looking out at the incoming freshman class at Bearcat Bridge, that I finally understood what it meant to be a Bearcat. It wasn't until I was the one on the stage screaming, "Hail to the red and white," to an auditorium filled with hesitant and nervous freshmen, that I understood why tradition meant so much here. It is a powerful feeling that I cannot put into words, when you can sing the alma mater and you know why you are saying these words, and you can take pride in what they stand for. The class of 2020 changed the school for the better. We brought new ideas and traditions. Thank the Lord for new traditions. We brought down the trend of typical high school drama, of being better off or worse off than our fellow classmates. We brought down the long-fought war between the upperclassmen and the lowerclassmen to an end. But sophomores do not belong in the senior section at basketball games. I repeat, do not belong. We're still working out those details. The class of 2020 took the halls of Hendersonville High by storm, fighting the norm and demanding a platform, with one word crystallized on their tongues like sugar: change. And that is what we did. I feel like the thing that is better than all of this is the fact that the class of 2020 is a family. We all know, talk to, and look out for one another. We are family, and that, I believe, is what high school is all about. Of course, we come here to learn and all that good stuff, but we also come here to make lasting friendships and connections. And as a once shy 15-year-old freshman from Rugby Middle, I can say that I have a second family in all of you. And yes, I may forget where a comma goes, sorry Mr. Johnson, and I may not remember how to distribute correctly, super sorry Ms. Wilson, but I will never, ever forget the relationships I built here. And I thank you all for giving me a high school experience worth remembering. As I close, I want to remind you that change doesn't stop here. The real world is out there and it is waiting for us. If we keep working hard, we will do great things. These past 4 years at Hendersonville have taught me the importance of tradition, pride, and family. The people I've met here, the experiences that happened in these halls, and the things I learned in these classrooms are some of the things I will never forget. As I stand here today, I am proud to sing Hail to the Red and White, and I am proud to be a Bearcat.
Now I'd like to present our junior marshals. Our junior marshals are a group of students that represent the top 10% of our junior class. They play a big part in our school. They are stepping up, taking the leadership for this year's junior class, but it's really taking the leadership for next year's graduating seniors. Now I give you the junior marshals. Every year at the end of the year, I get up at Move Up and give a charge to the juniors. Well, we didn't have Move Up this year the same way, so I felt like graduation was a good time to do the junior charge. This is a challenge to all the juniors. This is something that we expect you to do next year for the Hendersonville High School, make it a better place. You have some big shoes to fill with the group that's leaving. How are you going to make HHS a better place to be? I challenge you next year to put HHS even further up on the map as we are, further than we are right now. How are you going to add to the excellence that we have right now? I mean it. You have a job to do. You're very talented, you're very intelligent, you're an aspiring group. How are you going to make HHS a better place? I look for the class of 2021 to be one of the best ever to walk through the doors of HHS. I hope you do. You're the leaders of the school. You take over tonight as soon as the seniors graduate. Show us the right way. Show us the right thing to do and make it a year for great memories. Now I'm going to add something else because normally in Move Up we do these traditional awards at the end of Move Up, but we just didn't have Move Up the same way. So we're going to do these traditional awards during this ceremony, which represents making some seniors step forward and be recognized the way they really should be. So now we're going to turn it over to the staff and some awards.
The R. Hugh Lockaby Award is given to a student who has demonstrated a commitment to leadership and service at HHS. It is voted on by the staff, and this year's pick could not have been more deserving. To know Ray Suber is to know a Bearcat legend. From the moment he arrived at this school, he has proven himself to be utterly dedicated to the wonder that is Bearcat tradition. As a 2-year member of leadership and student government, Ray has time and time again shown how much he cares and is willing to work for the culture of this school. He's organized 2 school dances, he's been an integral part of every aspect of Spirit Week, and let's be honest, he made pep rally skits really funny.
You know that's right.
The thing that makes Ray so remarkable is that he does all of his acts of service out of the pure desire to create a great experience for others. Ray works with his classmates and teachers and administration to make the crazy high school experience something special for everyone. He creates memories, he creates moments, and he creates a sense of belonging at HHS. Ray, Western is going to be blessed to have you, and HHS will miss you so much. So much.
The Hugh Randall Leadership Award recognizes a student who demonstrates a willingness to work behind the scenes, leadership in various activities, great initiative, and dependability. This award is nominated by the faculty and voted on by the scholarship committee. Oliver Compatoon has been my student in the middle and high school orchestras for 6 consecutive years. I have been able to witness Oliver grow from a sweet and slightly awkward 7th grader to a confident and composed young man. Oliver is a true leader and friend. He inspires his peers to try harder, work smarter, and approach their work with a sense of joy. His career at Hendersonville High School reflects his unshakable commitment to his community. He wears many hats and wears them well, president of the Key, Interact, and Outing clubs, as well as double bass section leader in the orchestra and an AP and honors student. On top of his academic achievements, Oliver is unwaveringly loyal to his family, friends, and school community. In all of his activities, he finds a way to deepen his commitment, carrying out leadership roles and signing up for extra events. Oliver is trustworthy in that he can be counted on to complete any task given to him, always delivering with a cheerful demeanor. Not only does he get the job done, he does it without cutting corners or straying from any ethical boundaries, written or implied. Oliver has been a wonderful person to have known for these past 6 years. Upon his graduation, he will attend Wake Forest University. Congratulations, Oliver. We are so proud of you.
The Cecil S. Kessler Award is determined by faculty nomination and then the entire student body votes to determine the winner. Nomination is based on the student's contribution to HHS, outstanding character, and overall citizenship. In layman's terms, this award is a big deal. The recipient of the 2019-2020 Cecil S. Kessler Award is an embodiment of all of these characteristics and many more. It's no coincidence that Sakaya Kennedy was chosen for this award. She is living proof of what a barricade is supposed to be. She excels effortlessly in the classroom, on the basketball court, and is a model citizen at Hendersonville High School. Her radiant smile lights up the hallways when she passes through. Her lively personality permeates through leadership skits, and her range as an all-around character shows up when she's on the stage acting. Whether cheering loudly for the football team, posting double-doubles on the basketball court, or cheering for her baby brother when he's playing basketball, her fierce, competitive spirit comes to life. She is loved by her classmates and teammates and well-respected, and she serves as a role model for the entire student body. Job well done, Mom and Dad. Continue to strive to be your best and persevere through struggles, Sakaya. I'm going to miss you, and HHS will never be the same without you. Always remember though, once a Bearcat, always a Bearcat. Congratulations to you, Sakaya, and the class of 2020.
This award was named for Charles Bird, who was a previous teacher here at Hendersonville, was a coach, principal, and also a school superintendent. The Charles Bird Award is given to the senior that best exemplifies someone who makes the most of what they have, has the perseverance to succeed, and is always striving to do his best. This year's recipient is Giovanni Melendez. Now, I've had the honor of teaching Gio in both drafting and architecture, and have seen firsthand how he demonstrates the basis for what this award was given for. In his work, he's shown me that he always wants to do his best. He always tries to improve and do better. And for example, in model making and architecture, I've seen him take the limited supplies that I have and create a terrific project. And his perseverance is just something that, between me and him, I would always give him a difficult time if he had a bad soccer game. But he'd always look at me and say, you come to the next one because it was going to be better. And he'd also tell me what a great architect was going to be also. The bottom line is Gio exemplifies what we expect from all our students here at HHS. I'm proud to have the opportunity to have taught him because he's a perfect example of the type of student that makes Hendersonville High School a better place. Congratulations, Gio, and good luck in the future.
The Hannah L. Service Award is for the senior who has shown the most unselfishness towards school and community, especially service to others. This year's recipient is no stranger to hard work. In fact, I am certain Catherine Thomas is the hardest working person I have ever met. I am even convinced she works harder than fictional Parks and Recreation character Leslie Knope, which is a very bold statement to make. We know Catherine is an exceptional student, ranked number 1 in her class. But when she's not studying, where might you find Catherine Thomas? Well, there are a lot of potential locations. You might find her in the library, tutoring peers in English and math, or at a Q&A or National Honor Society meeting in the auditorium. She could be in the band room. There's also a good chance you might catch her in my room on a Friday, organizing trail cleanups, food drives, and building a little library for the Global Lens Club, a club in which she founded and operates. Can't find Catherine on campus? She might be at a Girl Scouts meeting, or possibly planning a community service event with the United Way of Henderson County. Catherine does value political awareness and action, so she could be meeting with the local chapter of the League of Women Voters, where she serves as a member. Can't find Catherine in Henderson County? You might have to drive to Raleigh, where Catherine serves as a member of the North Carolina Youth Legislative Assembly. Still no luck? It is entirely possible she's out of state, maybe at a global event in New York City with the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women, where she serves as an ambassador discussing women's rights and gender equality. I hope your passport is up to date, because Catherine could also be on a mission trip with her youth group in Costa Rica. So 2 things are very clear. 1, Catherine likes to stay busy. And 2, Catherine is incredible. She is also kind, selfless, empathetic, driven, and she takes pride in serving others. She does this not because it looks good on a resume, because she genuinely cares. I know that in these uncertain times, it is hard not to let fear consume our thoughts and emotions. The uncertainty of the future can be unnerving. But I know this. I have never been more optimistic about the future. Why? Because Catherine Thomas gives me hope. Thank you, Catherine, for the countless hours you have put in to making this world a better place. I can't think of anyone more deserving of this honor. Best of luck next year at Duke University. We will miss you dearly.
Hello, seniors. I've missed you so much, but congratulations for today. I am here today to present the Tom Wilson Award. Tom Wilson was a principal here at Hendersonville High School and has been described as businesslike, organized, and a true friend. Other notable characteristics would be that he always strove for excellence, and he always took pride in his work and was never too busy to listen. This year's recipient, Catherine Ayala, has these same characteristics, which makes her a perfect fit for this award. I've known Catherine since her freshman year through Kiwanettes. As a Kiwanet, she's been a solid, reliable force. She was consistent, always getting her hours on time, and was one of the most reliable members we've ever had. If Catherine signed up for an event, we could depend on her to be there and represent her Bearcat family very well. She's respectful and hardworking, and as vice president this year, she led the club in an efficient manner while ensuring to take pride in all that she was a part of. Catherine is also a hardworking athlete, always striving for excellence. She was a 4-year member of both the cross-country and swim teams. As a cross-country runner, she helped bring her team to multiple conference championships. And as a swimmer, she was a state qualifier every year and represented her team well. Catherine's strive for excellence was never a doubt. While her service to others and athletic abilities are wonderful, I have seen a Tom Wilson qualities shine through her this year in AP Biology. Catherine was always a delight and was very diligent in her schoolwork. She made sure that she would learn the material well and be successful. But most notably was her demeanor in class. She always thanked me for teaching her, and she was very organized and businesslike, but it was just the way that she could get her group together and get the job done. She made sure that she included all members and would also help to kind of speak up for those that couldn't always know how to speak up for themselves. Teaching and knowing Catherine has been such a great treat for over the past few years. She's a wonderful role model for younger Bearcats, and I know that without a doubt, she's moving on to do wonderful things in the future. Congratulations on this award, Catherine. You deserve this and so much more.
Good evening and congratulations to all the graduating seniors and their families. Ever since I began working at Hendersonville High School, Mr. Wilkins has emphasized two pillars that make HHS what it is. We are a school family and our traditions matter. The Bobby Wilkins Award goes to a graduating senior each year at HHS who is a true Bearcat, an individual who works to safeguard our traditions, and finally a student who always does the right thing. The 2020 recipient is dedicated to his family, cares about his fellow Bearcats, participates in the greater Hendersonville community through his church and various civic organizations, is an athlete at HHS, is a member of our mock trial team, is a musician, was a junior marshal, is a math tutor, and a valued member of the HHS Key Club. Our 2020 recipient's family has deep roots in Western North Carolina, and their contributions reverberate throughout our county. It is my honor to announce that Jack Carr is the 2020 recipient of the Bobby Wilkins Award. Jack Carr is a young man who I have known since he was 4 years old. He has brought his laughter and upbeat spirit into my family and his family to us. Washington and Lee University is fortunate that Jack has chosen to bring his talents to their community next fall. Jack will be double majoring in economics and mathematics, and his future is limitless. I can only hope that Jack will return to Henderson County often and perhaps settle permanently here one day. Jack, you will be missed at HHS. However, you have set an example that all of us can follow. Thank you for your kind heart, your tireless contributions and dedication to our school. Good luck moving forward, and never hesitate to allow us to support you in any way you need. Go Bearcats. And now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Wilkins.
Okay, it is time for the presentation of the class of 2020. So prepare yourselves. Everyone will get to see who is graduating with this great class. Hendersonville High School class of 2020, I now pronounce you graduates. Congratulations. Now, folks, especially for the seniors, we want to leave you guys with a lasting memory. So the staff has gotten together and done something very special for you. And here it is.